Hey guys, what's going on? I've been meaning to do this video for ages. Just take a look around my garages in Grand Theft Auto Online and take a look at all the cars that I use. Or just have because they look good. I don't actually use all of them. So this is the garage I usually spawn in when I join GTA Online. And we'll start with the T20. Which is allegedly the fastest car in the game. I like to think I can get an Osiris round a racetrack quicker. Takes a bit of getting used to, but it's certainly a very quick car. The Stinger GT is a car that I don't use for racing really. It's purely a car that I just love the look of. It's a really fantastic car to drive. That's the Carbonizaire, which I'll just put the roof down because it looks great with the roof down. Also following my midnight purple and hot pink colour scheme that looks fantastic on these cars. Again, I don't really use that one for racing. It's more of a cruising vehicle. I do like my SUVs in this game. I've got an entire custom racing championship just for SUVs. The Rakoto, is probably one of my favourites, except for one thing: the brakes are fucking useless. So Rockstar, if you ever get a chance, fix the brakes on that because it is useless. That's the Baller long wheelbase version, the unarmoured version. I do use that one in SUV races actually. It is quick enough to keep up with the Huntley. Really smart car as well. That is the Dubster, which has always been my favourite SUV. It's not quite quick enough for racing, but I like taking it up Mount Chiliad every now and then. Everybody should have one of these in the garage. The I forgot what it's called now. The truck without a truck bed. And that one again is a car I've got just because I like the look of it. That's a matte black with a hot pink pearlescent, which you need to use a little glitch to get that. It's dead easy. You can find videos on YouTube of how to do that glitch. That's the electric Chameleon, which is absolutely useless for everything. But I like the look of it, especially in that bright yellow colour. And the Comet is another car that I have just because I like driving it around. I don't really use it. I just think it looks really cool in that bright green colour, which I think is bright green mixed with yellow pearlescent. So yeah, that's the first garage. I've got a few more. So this is my original garage. This is where my first apartment was. I've had this place since I first started playing this game years ago. And this has some of my oldest vehicles in. So, to begin with, I've got my lowrider van, which is just to have a bit of fun with really. I do car meetups every now and then with this thing. I'd like to have more of these lowrider vehicles, but they're so expensive to buy and to put all the modifications on them. And after I bought the yacht, you know, I didn't have a lot of money left. But this is my go-to supercar. This is the Osiris. This thing has been responsible for the majority of my 2000 plus race wins. Looks fantastic in the matte black and the No-Do crew colour with Snoopy on the side. And of course the Zentorno, the original fastest supercar, which again is, I tend to use that if I'm bored of the Osiris, or there are certain tracks where that actually benefits to use the Zentorno. The Armoured Kuruma is the car I use mostly for contact missions, which is how I make a lot of my money. Really tough car, and it's quite quick as well for getting away from the police. And of course everybody should have an Insurgent. I chose to go for the one without the gun. I don't know why, but bicycles as well. I'll never use them. And the Sand King. I do a lot of off-road driving, a lot of off-road races as well, and you have to have a Sand King because there's so many custom tracks where you just can't finish the race unless you use a Sand King, and there's always one idiot who doesn't pick one. That is the Chino. It's the non-lowrider version. I like it how it is. I'd quite like to be able to change the inside of it, but I don't want to change it into a lowrider because I really love that. It's another one I use for car meets and just cruising around looking like a bit of a hipster. That was my original go-to sports classic. Right there. It's a bit tail happy, it's a bit difficult to handle. This one, however, the Sterling GT, is so much better for racing. It's a lot easier to handle, and it doesn't have quite the top speed of the Coquette Classic, but overall you'll probably get yourself around a racetrack a lot quicker driving that. And the last one in this garage is the Rhapsody, which is the quickest of the compacts. Not a car I use very often. I've just got it for compact races really, which you run into every now and then. And it's a nice little car, reminds me of Wayne's World. So I guess we will skip forward to the next garage, which is this one. I used to have a different garage from my sort of second main apartment / garage, but I got this one more recently just because I prefer the entrance to this one. I think it's a little bit off the road, a bit out of the way, but it's still right in the centre of the city. So that's the Barty B01 Superbike, which is all you need for bike racing really. The Sanchez you can use for off-road races if you want to be a knob, and the Bifta there, I don't actually use that, very rarely use it, but it's I don't have a brawler, so it's a nice alternative to that. And the Elegy, of course, supposed to be the fastest sports car, but I'm not a good enough driver to get the best out of it. I don't use it very often, but it's the only car in the game that's free, so why would you not have one? That is the Massacro, and that's my go-to sports car. Again, I don't have a Jester, which I think is the favourite for racing among a lot of the pro racer guys, but the Massacro does the job for me. I've got a couple more of my SUVs now, so I love these things. That's the original Brawler, and the Huntley, which is the quickest SUV. I think I'm going to change the wheels on that because I don't think the wheels I've put on it suit it very much. Now the car we're looking at now is the Felon. That is my go-to coupe. It's not quite as quick as the Zion, but it's got higher top speed. And then that's the Shafter V12, which is perfect if you're racing sports class on an airport circuit. Then if you pick that car and nobody else does, you're going to be unbeatable because its top speed is ridiculous. It's not very good on circuit races though because it slides about. And that is the Vigero, I think. The Vigero, which is just a car, it's just a muscle car that I like to play around with. It's good for drifting, and I've had that car forever. So right, the next garage, I have this garage because it's really close to the Los Santos Customs, so I often store vehicles in here that I plan to sell, or actually I don't remember what's in here now, so let's have a look. There's a big gap there, we've got room for one more. I'll have to fill that with something. Right, we've got the Dominator, which is, I think pretty much anyone who is into the GTA racing will use that as their go-to muscle car. It's a little bit difficult to handle, but speed-wise, nothing compares to it, so it's what you got to use. That is my Tornado. Again, something I'd use for just cruising around or car meets or whatever. No racing potential in that whatsoever, but it's a nice classic car to have. The Feltzer is one of the better sports cars to use on mountain circuits or where there's a lot of up and down sections. It just tends to stick to the road a bit better once you get used to its quirky handling. And I've got a Zion, of course, which is, like I said, it's not my go-to coupe, but I kind of like it in that matte black and lime green pearlescent colour. It looks really cool. It is the quickest coupe. I just prefer using the Felon. And this is the Schwarzer. This is my drift car. I went through a bit of a drifting stage with one of my friends on here a while back, and that's all we did. We used to go drifting, and that car is absolutely brilliant for it. What have we got next? Oh, the Sadler. I love this thing. If you ever get into a race and somebody puts it on utility just to be funny, and everybody picks lawnmowers and golf carts, if you don't have one of these in your garage, you can't pick it. It doesn't show up as a car you can pick unless you own one. And if you do, then you can just drive past all the idiots on lawnmowers and laugh at them. That is the Bison. That's in the Vans class. It's not as quick as the Gang Burrito, but I don't really like the Gang Burrito. So van races don't come up very much, so it's just something that I've got just in case I ever need it. That is a sedan, and that's the Primo. I'm not sure why it's all in black. I might funk it up a bit, but that's my only sedan actually. I shall have to get myself another shafter. And the Felon GT, which is in the coupes class, again, it's not a car I use for racing. That is a car that I just use to drive around in because I like the look of it. I actually quite like that in the matte black. So yeah, that is that for the garages. I do have a few other cars. I've got one of the mansions, but they're either cars that I haven't done up yet, or cars that I just don't use. So, but look at that. Sometimes I just like to drive around in this game and just look at how beautiful it is. It really is a gorgeous game to look at, Grand Theft Auto. Whether you love it or hate it, you cannot deny that the overall design of the map is absolutely amazing. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and have a super day.
This day is nearly done. We were promised to reach and overcome, to reach and